Hi, this is Karen with inspiredbygram.com. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to bring you another craft fair series. I'm going to be offering these in my craft fairs this year. And I'm working on these 1 ounce hand sanitizers, which I purchased at the Dollar Tree. Now my video craft fair episode number 4, I showed you how to package the 2 ounce ones and create a little tag here. Today we're going to create this little holder here that has an opening so you can see the scent. And on the back side, it's got some nice pretty paper here, and it's tied with a little fancy ribbon here. So let's just talk about the hand sanitizers for a minute. These, again, I purchased at the Dollar Tree. You can find them almost every time I go, I see them there. So I probably have packaged up about 30 of them so far. So I'll be offering them in 2019. They come, three to a package. And let me just take them out and can show you. Come in this plastic box here, which you can either reuse or I'm going to just recycle. So the flavors are flavors. They're scents, not flavors. Ocean Breeze. We also have Japanese Blossom scented, and there's also Fresh Fruit scented. So we'll be working with the Japanese Blossom because it kind of goes with the Rose Red here. So this is the holder, and it's, again, created so you can see the scent. The holder looks like this when it's all flat, and when you put it together, it's gonna go right like this. So I'm gonna show you how to create it. I'm gonna show you how to cut your paper so you can get the most out of your cardstock. So let me just put all these aside because I've got to bring in my Stampin' trimmer. So I've got my Stampin' trimmer here, and we'll need to extend the arm here because we'll need the 9-inch mark, and I'm not sure if I can put this all in the camera here, but you'll figure it out. All right, so now I've got an 8.5 by 11 piece of rose red cardstock. This is retired from Stampin' Up. However, you can use any, you could use Lovely Lipstick as a current in color as well. So now to create this piece, I'm going to show you how to create 4 and score them, and then leave enough for your circle punch out. So I'm going to just move a bunch of stuff around. Again, I've got a crafting chaos here, but it's really not chaos. It's just fun stuff. So, all right. So our cardstock is cut at 9 inches here. Okay, so that leaves you with a 2-inch strip. We're going to save this because we're going to punch out 4 circles with this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move that cutting blade down to the bottom, and we're going to start scoring. So I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch, and I'm using the right side of my Stampin' trimmer score measuring mark here. Using the scoring blade at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to rotate my paper, and now I'm going to score at 1 3/4. I just like to go down and back. It gives a nice deep score line. Now we're going to slide over the paper to the 4 1/4 inch mark. Down and back, and then one last score line at 5 inches. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out 4 of these little strips here to create the holders. So these are 2 inches. So we're going to just line that up at the 2-inch mark, and we're going to use our scoring blade and cut. So there's 1, 2, 3, and I just like to rotate this around so I have a nice smooth edge here. My blade on my trimmer is getting a little bit dull, so I need to get a new blade in there. So this is all you're left with here. So I'm just going to disregard that and put it in my recycle bin. So we are all set with the Stampin' trimmer. Love this trimmer. Actually, no, we're not. Let me just bring that back into the picture because we've got to cut our paper. So this is All My Love Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up, which you can buy from my online store. It's in the Occasions catalog. We are cutting a strip of paper. This is 12 inches long, We won't need it all, but it's easier to do it that way at 1 3/4. Okay, we'll get rid of this. Now we're gonna rotate this around and we're gonna cut 2 strips at 3 3/4. There's 1 and there's 2. And now we need a small piece, which is 3/4 of an inch. So again, I'm right-handed, so I like to work on this side of the trimmer here. So there's my little strip. And now I'm looking at the paper to see what I want to get the most out of the colors and everything. I just need a 2 1/4 inch piece. So this is disregarded. You could use it for whatever you wish, but that's all you lose in that one strip. So now we are finally finished with the trimmer and we'll put it aside. And so we've got 4 here. I'm only going to show you how to do 1, but that I just at least showed you how you can get the most out of your cardstock. All right, so now we're going to work with this piece of cardstock. I need my bone folder because we need to just score and burnish all these lines here. It's going to make it a lot easier. And there's just one more here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we need to bring in the trio punch to round our corners. So we're going to round the corners on the larger piece here. So we're just going to find the corner rounder on the detailed trio punch and just punch it. And it gives you a nice little rounded corner. Just make sure your paper's all the way in. Okay, and there that is. And now what we need to do is we need to round these pieces here. These are the 3 3/4 inches. Now this definitely has a pattern to it. So I know because the flowers are going up this way that this is the top on this piece. And again, flowers are going up and this is the top. So I'm just going to put both of these in at the same time. They're the same size. Just make sure your paper's all lined up really good. And we'll just punch those out. This just saves time. As long as you get your paper in there correctly, you'll be all set. Okay, so we're done with the trio punch. Now, the glue that I recommend you using is Tombow liquid glue. You could use your regular snail adhesive, but I have found that the Tombow glue works great. And you also, because white glue is really sticky and it's can be a little bit messy, I like to work on my silicone mat. And we're going to work on this part here. So we're going to add the big pieces first, get those out of the way. So I'm just going to take that dry piece off of the glue. I just like to tap my glue down, and now we're just going to add the glue all the way around. That's all you need. And let's bring in our holder, and this just lines up with a 1/4 inch border on all sides. Looks real nice. And now we're going to flip it over. We're going to put the other one on as well. So again, we're just going to bring this around and add it to this side. Okay, just give it a nice little press. The Tombow glue dries very quickly. All right, so now we got to make sure we are working with the front side of this. So when we bring this around, this is what it's going to look like, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the paper on this piece and on the top here as well. So I'm going to work on this side, and again, this is directional, so you got to make sure that your paper is going on the proper way. Okay, so we'll just put this right down. Give it a nice little love. All right, so now we're again working with this little small piece here. That's where the opening is going to be for your sanitizer. And again, this has a pattern, but really it doesn't matter too much on this piece because you're going to punch a scalloped circle out of it anyway. All right, so that's all set there. I think we're all done with the Tombow glue. We'll put that aside. Now, since I sell these at craft fairs, I need to put the Stampin' Up! Copyright logo on here. There's no information to put, or no area where I can actually stamp my personalized stamp. So I'm just gonna use the Stampin' Up! Logo here. Usually I would, I've got a personalized stamp here. Let me just bring it in. It's really, really used a lot. It's got my Inspired by Graham, my name, Karen McNall, my address on it. So, and a nice little fancy design so people can see, you know, my information in case they want to place a special order with me. All right, so we are done with this. We are going to now, let's see, we're going to take our hand sanitizer and we're going to, actually no, I skipped a step, darn it. Okay, I'm going to show you a trick. So I've got a Post-it note here because I've got 53-year-old eyes, so I need reading glasses and it's really hard for me to line up. So I am looking for my scallop punch. Here it is. So I've got a scallop punch. It's 7 7/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to slide this on the sticky part of the Post-it note here. And I'm just going to punch out a scallop. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, since this is just 1 inch here, I want to put this piece here. And so I can visually see where that center is. Okay, I'm going to give it a little press. Now I'm going to bring in my scallop and work punch, and I'm going to line up the punch to the Post-it note here. That way I know I'm in the middle and it's so much easier. Okay, so I got that pretty good. Now this just went flying. I don't know if you saw that, but it went flying. But anyway, save that for your next holder. All right, so now we're actually pretty much almost done. So we're going to just slide your hand sanitizer in. Okay, we got it standing up. We actually need our Tombow glue one more time. We're going to add our Tombow glue right here. Okay. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it this way, rotate it, and I'm going to bring up this back panel here. And I'm going to try to put that horizontal. And then I'm going to turn it and rotate it, and making sure that that cardstock is pretty good lined up to the side. Needs to come down just a little bit. Okay, we're going to hold that in place. Okay, so now that while the weight of the bottle is, you know, just keeping it in place, I'm going to work on the sentiment here. So we'll bring in our lovely lipstick ink from Stampin' Up. And I also am using a Good Day stamp set. And on all my hand sanitizer packages, I've been using Just Because and Thank You So Much. So today I'm going to use the Just Because. I'm going to ink that up. I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. And I've got a 1.5 inch circle punch. I'm actually going to close this up because we are done. And I'm just going to punch this out real quick. I love punches for any of my craft fair products. Now, if you remember that 2 inch by 8.5 inch paper that we had left over when we cut out those 4, now you can just take your 1 3/4 inch circle punch and you can cut out or punch out 4 of these. So all you're losing in that piece of paper is just this little bit. All right, so we'll save 3 of these for later. And I'm going to adhere, let me just bring my silicone mat in one more time. And I'm going to adhere this little circle here to the rose red circle. I think all this, even though the rose red is retired, it does go really nicely with the lovely lipstick color. All right, so we've got that on our circle. We need just one Stampin' dimensional, so I'll grab one of those, press it down, and just press with my fingernail to release the backing. And let's bring in our hand sanitizer that is nice and glued down. And I'm just going to center that and just press down where that dimensional is. So this is what it looks like. There's the back side. That pretty paper is just lovely. And then you can see on the side, and the expiration date you can see as well. So very important when you're selling any craft fair items or products that have an expiration date, that you know what it is. Now on the other ones I have written expired date on the bottom. I can do that. So actually let me try to do that for you. I would have done this ahead of time, but I'm just going to show you how important it is to write expiration dates on here. So I'm just going to put EXP, and the date here says 3/20/20. So I'm going to write 3/20/20. That way I know easily when it expires. So if I'm getting close to the expiration date and these haven't sold, I'll probably put those on special. All right, so now what we're going to do is bag them. So basically I'm going to bag them just like my previous video here, but without the tag. Since we already have a sentiment on here, I didn't think it needed anything. But I do have some really nice berry burst ribbon left over. So I've got these bags I purchased a while ago, a couple of years ago, probably from Walmart. I got this shred here that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. You only need like 3 or 4 pieces. And very staticky here. I'm going to grab my marker here to help me get that in place on the left side. It'll cooperate, and then I'm just going to grab another 3 or 4 pieces and put some on the other side. It's really handy to have something that will help you press this shred down. This goes so much easier. Okay, so now let's bring in the ribbon of choice here, and this is the Berry Burst 3/8 of an inch, a metallic edged ribbon, very pretty. All right, so I think we need about, I don't know, maybe 12 inches here. And just cut a piece off my ribbon scissors. So I like to tie mine front to back. You can do it however you wish, whatever's easier for you. But I'm gonna do it this way, and I know I'm probably totally off camera, but I'm trying to use my lean it up against me to get it started. Okay, it's a little too low. I want it a little bit higher, about a ½ inch up. Then I'm just gonna wrap it around, tie another knot in the front, and tie a nice bow. Hopefully I'll get on my first try. But I love this ribbon. It's very sparkly, and it just adds quite a nice touch to your packaging. And I simply do not need another tag. You do not need a tag for this one because the ribbon is the focal point almost on this. So let me just cut down this tail here. The other one seems to be fine. And there you have it. So here's the one we created on camera here. Here's the one I created before with a thank you so much. And then my previous video, which I will link in the description box below. And this is the 2-ounce version as well. So for pricing, I'm going to do a mix and match this year. Even though this is 1 ounce, I'm just going to try to sell these as a mix and match, $3 each or 2 for $5. And someone can buy one of these and one of these, and they'll be all set. So anyway, for all your Stampin' needs, you can visit my website for any of this product, except for the Dollar Tree products. At my website, inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching, and have a great crafting day.